We're back at it again. This time I have two guests instead of one. This is the first time I had two guests on my show at the same time.
Okay.
So we're going to have a lot of information, a lot of sharing taking place in this next 30 minutes. I have two phenomenal guests. I have Miss Ronnisha Bowman, our newly elected judge out of that great group of 19 women that ran for judge this past November, and each and every one of them, Melanin Magic, were all elected.
Yay.
Yay, definitely. And then we have the forever working, hard working, always hustling, always grinding, Miss Aliah Calbert.
Yes.
Of Calbert Weddings and Events, and also Calbert Tax Services. Yes. So right now it's tax time. Get at her because she has all the information that you need. And shout out to Aliah, because Aliah is the reason why I am sitting here today. I always tell a story about the podcast that I actually had an opportunity to be a guest on, Making Money Moves.
Yeah.
And because of Aliah, I am here. I'm using her resources, so thank you for sharing.
No problem. No problem.
So today, Miss Ronnisha decided with Judge the Honorable.
Ooh.
The Honorable. Are you getting used to that?
It's something to get used to.
The Honorable.
Because I'm used to being on the other side of the bench.
Yeah.
Approaching. Now I'm asked to be approached. So it's something to get used to.
So were you the defense or prosecution?
I was a defense attorney.
Defense attorney.
Yes.
So the Honorable Bowman.
Yes, of Criminal Court 2.
Criminal Court 2. The title of this show is Major Moves. What is your major move for 2019? I mean, obvious, right?
Well, I'm 1 week into my major move. I've been sitting on this bench 1 week now, so you got me when I'm really, really fresh. And it's been such an honor. I mean, it's just a major move. I intend more major moves of being back in my community and just encouraging people kind of to not come into my court.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Aliah, what are your major moves for 2019?
I would say that I have a lot of things that I want to do as far as with my business. So probably one of the biggest ones is opening up another office. It's probably one of the biggest moves I'll do for 2019 outside of passing these CPA tests. Lord, these tests is killing me, but getting the CPA done is probably the other one.
Would your office be in Texas or would it be in another state?
So no, it'll be here. It'll just be on the north side. Okay, just be on the other side of town.
So you plan on opening it this tax season?
No.
Or next in preparation for 2020?
Preparation for 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a major move.
It is. So let's talk about the process of becoming a judge. What even made you decide to practice law?
Oh, my God. So now we're going back to
The beginning. Or the middle.
The very beginning. When I was in fourth grade, I remember asking my teacher, well, what do you do if you want to be a lawyer? I'm the first person in my family to graduate college. My parents, they didn't even graduate high school, but they both, got their GEDs. And so I was just always a little ambitious something. I would always make these ostentatious goals. And I don't know, I probably even still do that today. When I told my family, I was like, I'm running for judge. I mean, I'm sure that was a lot to take in, but I went to undergrad at TSU for 4 years. I went to Thurgood Marshall, and then I became a defense attorney. There's so many things that happened in between that time that kind of guided my path. It's not to say that, I knew exactly what I was getting myself into or I was doing every time. However, I'm a very prayerful person, and I really truly know that God kind of orders my steps in a way that takes me where he would have me to be. So in that respect, when I was in undergrad, I met a young lady, and she's like, and to today, she's my best friend. I was actually in your waiting room talking on the phone with her, but she was like, I'm going to law school. And I was like, I want to go. And she didn't know my prayers or my goals from being in fourth grade, but God strategically put her in my life so that, he could take me to where he wanted me to be. When I finished undergrad, I went straight into law school. I had some mishaps in my life. I dropped out for a little bit. Then I went back to law school and I finished. And I always knew, my family was like, oh, you need to go and work for the DA's office. You need to go and be a prosecutor. And I'm like, that's not my journey.
Right.
So I knew.
Because it's a different journey. And it's different being a prosecutor.
It is.
It's different. And I'm not an attorney, but even watching TV, watching the news and watching movies, as a community of people, a prosecutor is sending people to jail. I mean, that's how you really get your record for the prosecution.
Yes.
I mean, really, that is how you get your, getting people with records or whatever the case may be. Time.
You might get punished.
Becoming a felon, a misdemeanor, whatever the case is. But to actually prosecute them, have that win, you putting something on somebody's life that's going to be on there for a long time. Forever.
Yes.
If you don't get expunged or whatever the case may be.
So I've always been a defense attorney, and I consider myself as protecting the Constitution, right? I'm not getting, everybody off or whatever. And then I decided, I was like, okay, I think I could be a very fair person, having real life experience, not being that judge who has only been a prosecutor or who has never been to a certain area of town from which I lived. So I see people as one race of people, human race, and I just think I'm a fair person who, I can live up to this challenge.
And we need more people like you on the stands, making judgment for our people, understanding the background and the nature in which things happen. Everything is not always black and white.
Everything is
Some
not.
things are gray.
Mm-hmm.
Some things are gray, and we need some people to understand those gray areas. So that's kind of heavy.
Yes.
You got to come with something soft. Soft.
Okay.
Because I know you got the humor and a comedy for us. That was kind of heavy. So this year, 2019, it's a new year.
It is.
Let's talk about last year. We talk about the CPA license. We talk about opening up a new office. But I want to talk about two things. One thing of last year that, was exciting about last year, but one thing that was not as exciting, but it shaped you. And it prepared you for this year.
Okay. One thing that, probably prepared me for this year was my relationship. And now having a bonus baby prepared my patience, I feel like, which made me really, I thought, how you think you have patience or you think you have these other things until something tests you, I feel like. And a test, part of 2018 was this bonus baby.
I have a bonus baby at my house too now.
Ooh, I know.
It's different.
It is.
And I'm a mom. I'm a mom already. Mm-hmm. And this is not like my husband's child or anything. This is my dad's daughter. Mm-hmm. But it's different when it's not yours. It is. I don't care what anybody say. It's different when it's not yours. Not that I'm not loving her and engulfing her, but it's just certain things that your children just naturally going to do because you have from beginning to raise them. So when you have that gap matters. Don't care what nobody say. Mm-hmm. And so little things that my older two children, like Jeremy and Jada, know that's going to tick me off, she got to learn that, okay, NaKeitha ain't playing. Like, that's one thing that's going to drive her crazy. It's like trying to retrain somebody where when you have them since birth, they already know your ways.
Right. But see, the difference is I don't have any kids. I don't have any children at all. So I went from being free and only worrying about me, basically, like, to just getting up and going to now having to really be worried about somebody else and the patience that I really have to have with somebody else's, child that's not mine versus I would have snatched you a long time ago, but this isn't my kid, granted, what I'm saying? It's definitely shaped my, to make me more patient than I probably ever have been. And to make me, my sense of awareness is very different.
And also about the blessing. And I say the blessing is because, you wanted to be married, right?
Right.
And when we have these visions in our eyes of what we want, God always blesses us the way he wants us to, right?
He does.
He always do it the way he wants to. And I bring that up because we always had this vision of how he's going to do it. And he never does it that way. And I'm sure you would have never thought that he was going to send you a man with a baby that had to live in the house with y'all, not on the weekends, but every day.
Yeah, never. If you would have asked me 2017, I'd have been like, girl, you lie. You know what I mean? But it's definitely, it's that, none of my family is here. So I'm also in, Houston by myself, outside of friends that have become family. So it's definitely giving me that, what I was missing that I didn't have. And I've been here 10 years. So, I haven't had that. It took me 10 years to get it. Lord, thank you for bringing them. But, it's taken me. I mean, it's been so. The blessing that I have is obviously I do have that family that I have in the house that's with me that I can count on when it comes to stuff. But it's definitely been a life changing for me going from just being worried about yourself to now you have to worry about these other people. So that has been one of the probably the biggest change that I've had outside of I feel like I've been studying for school forever. So that's probably one of those things. But definitely, and then even with business, I don't know, these tax laws have changed a lot. And then probably one of the other, with tax laws changing, which means it has now changed my finances, which also then makes me go back to like, oh, how was your budget? Like, how was these other things that you talk to everybody else about all the time? Like, let's really look at yourself to see, like, are you really doing these things because of the situation that has, come up with our tax laws. So
and what was the highlight of your year?
The highlight probably was my family being here for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, you hosted Thanksgiving.
So I hosted Thanksgiving, and they haven't been here. Like one of my brothers has never been here, and that's my oldest. And then my other brother, he's only been here once when I first moved. So
they have everybody.
So
here.
now everybody came, nephews and cousins. So everybody was here with me versus me going somewhere else. Probably the best thing to be here for them.
So let's talk about your highlight of 2018.
Oh my God. My 2018 was so focused around campaigning.
So when did the campaign begin?
The campaign for me, November of 2017. And talking about children, I have 3 children, 3 sons. And the twins, I have twin boys, they were born a couple months before I started campaigning.
Oh.
So
talking about fearless.
I had no idea. God always puts me in this position where I just have to do what's required of me. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I don't even fully understand what I'm getting myself into. But at the same time, he propels me, and he's prepared me in a sense. So 2018 was pretty blim. It consisted of going to sometimes 5 events a day. It was like one weekend, I was like, I've been to 8 events. And like I would get hoarse by Monday, and I would spend my week trying to gain my voice back.
For the weekend.
So yeah, 2018.
I'm grinding.
It was a lot of grinding and not seeing my children. So I'm just looking forward to, a brighter side of having time, a little bit of it.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know campaigning is just constant. Mm-hmm. Every day, all day, smiling in public, even when you may have a moment when you want to. And not that you're mad at anybody, just like, I just want some me time. Oh, hey, how you do?
I don't even know me time.
Right. What's that? What is that? What is me time?
My friend was like, I get a massage once every week or 2 weeks. I'm like, really? That sounds so nice.
Like, okay.
I mean, law school was gruesome. So the career has been kind of gruesome. So I really, in years, I haven't even celebrated my birthday in many years.
When's your birthday?
I'm actually having my first birthday party in like 4 or 5 years in a couple weeks.
Good for you. You should. And it should be big and major.
It won't be that big and major.
No. I don't mean like spending money, but I mean like just meaning a big deal. Like having people who love you around and you just looking forward to it. Big and major don't mean money. You don't have to be a grand venue. Sometimes people spend $100,000 on weddings. It ain't no love in that building. And I've been to a wedding. I swear, I went to a wedding this summer. I know they spend $12,000, and that's hard in these days to spend $12,000 on a wedding. Because the cheapest wedding, the venues are expensive. But man, when I tell you what's so much love in that building, I swear. I'm talking about the moms on both sides, the parents, the grandparents. You can see it behind the scenes. Because it's a lot of tension. So big and major don't mean money.
There was no bridezilla.
But not Brazil. Sometimes the family be quarreling and want to tell you what to do and what color dress to wear. Many bridesmaids, it just be little things like that. When I tell you that energy was so good, and I got to feel the energy because I was working behind the scenes with hair. I was like, "It's some love up in here."
That's what I love.
It was.
I love it,
and it wasn't an extravagant wedding, but it was beautiful because love was all up and through that place. You should have seen the grandparents bouncing down that aisle.
Love is a healer.
Yes. So big and major doesn't necessarily mean a a grandiose event. It just means just you looking forward to it, and you're gonna be with the people that you love and celebrating life.
Yeah, celebrating
with life.
some accomplishments. So it'll be fun. I'm excited about that a little bit.
A little bit. We'll see. You seem like you're very even tempered.
I am. I actually
can
am. My friend
I want
was
you
like,
to drop it like it's hot at your birthday party. You have to drop it. You have to. No, you gotta get out. It's been 5 years. It's time to drop it.
Had a party.
Get
a drink.
Really.
Well, I don't know if you can get a drink. What's your birthday?
Yeah, drink. She's legal.
Yeah,
I'm legal.
And she can get a designated driver.
Uber.
Exactly. Like, it's all legal. Like, she's still gonna be the judge after her birthday. Yes, she's still gonna be the honorable Judge Bowman.
Yes.
After birthday. So, Leah.
That is so funny.
What song describes your life soundtrack? If your life was a movie, what song will we play? Like, dun 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 dun.
You know, I thought about that last night. I just couldn't. I just don't know.
My song is Rick Ross.
Song.
Every day I'm hustling.
Really?
That sounds like a good song for you.
That's my song. That is my song. Like, and if you know me, you know that I don't know many words. I only know the chorus of every song. I don't know like the verse.
I don't either.
I know, but I
make
love
up
some
my
good
own
music
words.
in my car, and I'm telling you, it gets me going. I don't care if it's gospel.
Yeah.
Just good music revs me up. It gives me it's like that pep talk.
That is so funny. You know, and I don't even know. Like, the only song that really comes to my mind that really has nothing to do with work that gets me, like, every time it get me moving is like Nuck If You Buck.
I always say that.
She came with a classic.
No, she
no lie, like, you don't understand. Like, Nuck If You Buck is one of those songs. It takes me back to these college days, and I'll be ready. It doesn't make a difference what I'm ready for, but I'm ready.
It's good hype music.
Yes, it is a good.
So what song gets you hyped? Get you amped?
I probably go through my phases, but right now, like, me and my best friend, it's so funny. For the past 3 or 4 days, I've been listening to every morning "This Means War." Y'all probably won't even know that song, but it's a gospel song.
I'm gonna Google it.
And she called me this morning, and I just went in, "This means war," and so she started singing it with me. I was like, "Oh my God!"
But I'm all for karaoke. I'm all for karaoke. You better come on karaoke. Next time I see you, we might be singing "This Is War." Tell her I will perform. I will perform in all genres of music.
That is so.
It's not beneath me. You know, all genres. And I love the Lord. Please believe that.
I know you do.
I do. I love Him. Trust and believe. That is funny. So now that's funny. We got This Means War and Nuck If You Buck. That's what
I know, right? I'm ready.
Okay, I'm trying to transition. Okay. So what do you do? I know that you say you don't have a lot of downtime, but in your downtime, your quiet moments, what relaxes you? What do you like to do when you just don't have anything to do?
When I don't have anything to do, I trick my son and tell him it's movie night, so we can jump up in my bed and watch movies. I love to watch all different types of movies. I love to go out with my friends. You know, we go to Davenport.
Hello, Davenport.
Yeah, just hanging out with people. I love to talk on the phone with my best friend. She's really the only person I talk on the phone with. But
I'm not a big phone talker.
I mean,
like,
we both aren't. That's the irony.
Yeah, you give me about 5 minutes. Let's get it done. I mean, because I get that you have to talk on the phone. You can't text everything. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind. But
I hate texting.
Huh?
I hate texting.
Yeah. See, I would text. Text, but we're not gonna do paragraphs though. We're gonna do like, yes, okay, meet at 12. Like, we're not gonna be doing novels and Shakespeare plays on text. So we're gonna pick up the phone. But I can't. I just can't be on the phone for an hour though. So when I am, I know it's like a good moment. That's like a good moment for me if I am on the phone for an hour, because I know it's therapeutic, because it ain't business for no hour.
The irony though, you've been married 22 years. My best friend is married, but her husband works on a rig in Dubai somewhere, and so he's gone for a month. And it's like when he come home, it's just like, well, what do I do? You know,
you missing her because she all in over there.
That is so funny.
What do you do in your quiet moments?
You know, when I really just watch TV. Like, if I'm a big TV person. Like, I have every channel. My cable bill is so high, and my boyfriend hates it. But
you and your husband.
Not yet. Give me till September. September it'll be there. It's okay. He watching.
Newly married. I thought you said you were newly married.
So I have every channel. I watch everything on TV. And it's a lot of BS is on television, but I watch it and it's so funny, and I can tell you about it. Yes, I do everything. I don't really watch reality TV anymore, but I watch everything else. And I could just sit there and just be okay with just being quiet and watching.
I love reading in my downtime. Like, I don't have a lot of quiet time, so I love reading. I feel like the TV is always on in my job. The radio is always on. It's always noise in the background of my life. So I really appreciate solitude. I appreciate quiet, because quiet, we live in a house of 6 people, including myself. Yeah. Quiet is something you don't get often. Oh, no, and you work in a beauty salon. Quiet is something that you don't get often. So, moments of just solitude, quiet and calm, and I just love reading books. I really do. I don't get to do it often, but that's my thing to do. I can check in a hotel and stay in a hotel for a whole day and not leave out and order room service and
just read.
That's a good time.
That
is a good time.
I don't have to see the city light. I don't have to, none of that. That is the ultimate vacation for me. So let's get back a little bit to this money moves before we end. Yeah. Not money moves. I'm sorry, major moves. Look at me. I always thinking about money. Major moves.
My podcast she just referred to.
How do you, what are some things that you have to do in order to make major moves?
In order to make major moves, I think, look, some of the best things come from prayer, right? At the end of the day, you have to set goals, priorities. What do you want to accomplish? I remember when I was in college, I would always write out that plan, the degree plan, and be like, okay, check. But a lot of planning from the background. Then I always tell people, there's a cliche, showing up is half the battle. That's true. Once you get there, you're going to want to overachieve a little bit. So don't skip class, don't skip out on what, is going to get you there. And a lot of the times, fear, throw it away, cast it out, rebuke it. It won't get you where you want to be. So a lot of encouraging yourself. Don't expect that to come from anybody else. If it does, then they're a blessing to you. But at the end of the day, you better talk to yourself. That's why every day I'm hustling. I get it. I mean, there was a time when on the way to court, my friend told me, listen to some gangster rap, and I'd be,
oh man, it just your whole swag, your vibes just be different. It does.
Yes. So, just keep in mind what your goals are. Don't get distracted. Keep your eye to where you're supposed to go. I remember my first test in law school. My mom was like, I was like, I did good. My mom was like, now keep studying. It was like, well, golly, I can't even enjoy this for me. And that's probably where my mindset is without really celebrating things or enjoying a moment, because it's just like, well, I got to keep working. It's another goal to go and achieve. So, I'd say plan and work towards it.
Plan and work the plan.
Don't wait for somebody to celebrate it.
Oh, I'm going to celebrate it.
Yeah, you do have to celebrate it yourself.
You do. No, I ain't waiting on nobody. You come in. I sit at that bar by myself. That's why I like to sit at the bar, because you're always with somebody.
That's true.
I can sit at the bar.
You're never alone. You're never alone. The bartender's your friend. The people beside you.
They start talking to you all the time.
Yeah, I keep telling people I'm not a twin. I was born alone. Seriously, because even with my husband, I have to think about that. He don't like to do stuff like that. He don't like to do a lot of things. He doesn't. And so if I wait on him to do stuff, we wouldn't do much of nothing. We wouldn't. But that's just how he's the yin to my gang. We're opposites. So it's like I have to learn that, go out there and just do some things by yourself. You don't always need a partner in crime, a partner in shame. You got to do some things alone.
Amen.
You do.
I get that.
So what are some things that you want to share that you need to do, that other people should do in order to make major moves?
I probably would say discipline. It's probably one of the biggest things I think that people have a hard time with doing. It's not really like setting the goal or seeing what you want to do. It's kind of more or less following through and really staying with what you have to do. It's probably been one of the probably biggest things that has helped me, I think, is the discipline in having to stay focused. And I know what I want to do. I know where I'm trying to go. It's probably one of those things. Discipline, I probably would say, would be that. And just kind of don't let other people, fears of you doing certain things kind of change your outlook or what you want to do. And kind of get away from those people. Or just even block them out. because if you listen to other people being scared of, you know, whatever they in their life, people tend to, when you ask people stuff or advice or questions, people kind of give you stuff off of their experience or what they're scared of versus what's best for you because of what you're doing. So I probably would say to, you know, not listen to those kind of, you know, stay. You can, even if you ask, you did ask, but kind of stay focused on what you.
Well, this is something that I do. When I'm vulnerable, I don't share. When I'm vulnerable, I don't share. But when I'm confident in whatever my decision is, and I know you can't sway me, and then I share. Because when you're vulnerable, somebody can cause you to switch your way of thinking. You know what I mean? And it's not that it's so private, it's a secret. No, I'm so vulnerable now that I'm temperamental. I'm temperamental. So whatever you say is going to make me feel some kind of way. But once I get to a point where I'm confident in what I want or who I am or whatever the thing is, it's so if you can say it's ugly, you can say it's not going to work, but I'm so strong and confident in it, I can share it with you because I know that it's going to work. You get what I'm saying? But when I'm in that say maybe cocoon, when I'm in that cocoon state, where I'm like unsure, I don't know if I'm going to be a pretty butterfly or not, then I'm not talking about it a lot. I don't. And I only talk about it with people when I'm in that cocoon state who love me enough to know that I'm fragile, know that I'm vulnerable, who are going to tread lightly. Not lie to me, but just tread lightly, you know? And then when I'm a little bit bolder, that's when I share. Because everything is not for everybody.
It's not.
Everything is not for everybody. So it's, again, and I always say I'm a very public person, but some things need to be private. Everything is not for everybody. And the time is not right now for everybody. I might not be ready today because I'm still vulnerable. I might be willing to share in 3 months when I have strength in my faith or strength in my belief on that subject. Because everything is not for everybody. And we have to be very cognizant of that. Because there are some things called dream stealers and dream killers. And they really just they ready to kill your dream because that's all they have in them. They don't know how to speak life into the situation. They don't know how to pump you up. And there's no offense. They're just who and what they are. So we have to be very cognizant of who we share things with. But when you mention follow through is important because you have the dream, you have the actual manifestation of it. But in between is the work. It's the work, and the work is the execution. And that's what separates ordinary from extraordinary, is the people who are willing to put in the work and the extra work to get to the goal.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You know, not that, you know, one person is smarter than the other. A lot of times, matter of fact, my best friend, it took him 10 years to graduate college, and he went every single year full time. Wow. But he's one of the smartest people I know. Because he's diligent, he's consistent, and he puts in the work. Shout out to Damian Clark. But no, he is. He's just not studious. He's not studious. But he had his eye on a prize. He never got discouraged. And we ranked on him all the time, including his best friend. Dang, when you going to get done? Like, really? You want to be doctorate by now? You know, but it's putting in the work and keeping your eye on the prize and staying focused. And again, like I tell you, he's way far advanced. The people who graduated in 3 years or 4 years. You know, just staying focused and keeping your eye on their prize. But major moves in 2019, it's in the atmosphere. I'm not just saying that. So many people they're pregnant with so many big ideas and they can't wait to birth them. A lot of people around me like, just stay tuned. It's coming. I just feel like this year is about a lot of shift, a lot of transition, a lot of preparation, because I think 2019 is going to be about a lot of things like that happening, but 2020 is going to be like explosive. It's going to be like Canaan. It's like in preparation. So this year sets the tone. So 2018 may have been rocky. So yes, you irrigating that soil. Digging. Now we're going to fertilize that soil. And then like next year, you think you're seeing the fruit right now.
Girl,
I'm just saying. I'm feeling this for real because last year was even strange for me. It wasn't a bad year, which is a strange year. Just an awkward year. You know, a year of uncertainties. I'm a very certain person. I'm a very black and white person. But I was trusting and believing God because I said, God, you're stirring something up. That's why I'm feeling uneasy. You're saying you ain't going to be comfortable. You're stirring something up in me. And so this year, some things are going to be pruning. I'm going to see some things. But I know in 2020, it's just like this year just going to set the tone. I'm just going to sit a little bit. I'm going to be smiling. But next year, I'll be radiating.
You know what's funny? That you sound like my business coach. Like I haven't seen her in a couple of months. I'll see her again in March. But she was like, Aliah, like this is, where you're supposed to be. Like this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you know, this will set this up for this. So your 2019 and 2020, and you know, this is what it's supposed to be. So I feel all of that.
Come on, receive it.
I am ready for. I'm like, you know, like let's get this going. So I'm ready for
this energy in me, this adrenaline in me is crazy. And let me tell you, you see how crunk I am, and I'm on a fast. I'm eating straight vegetables, and I'm amped. I'm no coffee. I'm no clarity, and I'm amped. I'm no Coke, and I'm amped. That's how amped I am. Like people ask me, "Are you missing food?" I went to Prospect Park the other day and was just looking at everybody drink, having a good time because I'm amped because I got my eye on the prize. That's when the discipline sets in. Because I'm playing for clarity, I'm playing for cleansing, and I want to consecrate. You know, so it's the time. The time is now. But thank you, ladies, for coming. Our time is up.
No problem.
Major moves are on its way. Thanks again for being with us, Ronnisha Bowman, the Honorable, and Aliah Calbert.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.